Hello and welcome back to Through Imperial Eyes. I am your host, Braydon Leadbetter.
And I'm your co-host, Jackson Daleen. How's it going?
It's going. I only have about a half a season left of Clone Wars.
How is that? How are you?
I'm in the stupid Rush Clovis arc.
Oh, that only gets good to like the end, and even then I say good just because Anakin freaks out.
Yeah, I'm in that stupid Season 6 Rush Clovis arc. I just finished the really good arc at the beginning of Season 6 with Fives.
Well, the Fives, what are your thoughts on the Fives one?
I liked it a lot. They just did Five so dirty, man.
It's dark. It's very heartbreaking at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm doing that. Have you started Skywalker Family at War yet?
I'm only like halfway through chapter 1, but yes, I just have been working all this time and haven't had time to read it, but I've really liked what I've started so far.
That's what I've been doing. I'm like halfway through it. It gives you some juicy deets. Especially about the Skywalkers.
I love how it's written. I don't know why. I love the flow.
It's like a history book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you guys didn't know, we have another show on this podcast feed called Imperial Cantina, where we sit down with guests and talk about Star Wars, have some drinks. It's a fun conversation all around. And this past Saturday, we sat down with Kyle and Jordan from the Cinema Shakedown podcast and talked about The Force Awakens. So we're getting into the Disney era Star Wars here. And we had a really great, funny conversation with them this past weekend. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please do. I know we kind of got into what I've been doing, but Jackson, other than reading Skywalker book and stuff like that, what have you been doing in the Star Wars realm?
I threw it on as background noise and ended up watching the whole thing. But I watched the 2003 Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it before. It's not like it was anything new, but it was actually kind of nice watching it in 4K and kind of the remasteredness. And the first time I saw it was uploaded to YouTube. So it was all, the old 720p and the old audio files where everything sounded just kind of off. It was specifically ObiWan sounded like really old audio files. So it was cool watching it redone and the colors just really popped with it too. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
I turned on, I think it was on Saturday, I turned on Caravan of Courage for like 5 minutes just to check it out.
Yet to start any of those. I don't even know how I want to watch them.
I don't know. I wasn't, obviously you're not going to be impressed by
right.
any of the Ewok movies. They're just cheesy 80s TV movies. But I can say that I started Caravan of Courage. One of these days we'll actually sit down and watch them. But yeah, I think we don't have a too heavy of a news week this week, but what is our first news story?
So starting out, Josh D'Armo, who is the chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, he hosted a virtual presentation. This was last week because I saw the news about it. But essentially, in this presentation, which unfortunately we didn't get any pictures or videos or even audio from it. It was very locked down. But in it was supposedly announced that Disney will be working on a quote unquote real retractable light up lightsaber, and that they are essentially working to invent, from what I'm understanding, the quality of their Galaxy's Edge lightsabers with the power of the old plastic whip it out lightsabers that we had.
Yeah, kind of like this. I remember I had the spring loaded one where you didn't have to do the motion. You had to just press the button. It would spring up.
I think they're trying to invent something that is polished and still looks cool. So I wonder if they'll keep kind of their basic RGB blades that they have, or I wonder if they'll eventually kind of just make the shift over to NeoPixel blades. I mean, their hilts are already super expensive. I wouldn't see why not.
If they wanted to, they would have to buy it from NeoPixel, and that NeoPixel is not going to give it for cheap.
Not going to be fun about it. It's not like Disney doesn't have the money for that, though.
I was going to say, yeah. But I know that Attractions Magazine, they were kind of live tweeting what they were seeing in this event, and whenever it happened, the tweet that they put out says Josh D'Armo, closed out a special look inside Disney Parks virtual event by turning on Luke's lightsaber with the laser sword coming out of the emitter in person and said, "It's real." And then the stream ended. So,
whoa.
yeah, that's a cliffhanger. But I'm guessing that, I don't think this has been in the works for that short of amount of time, because apparently back in 2017, Disney filed a patent for a retractable internally illuminated lightsaber, which you can find like open on the internet, and there's different sketches and stuff like that are That's already available and open to the public. But yeah, I think it'll be cool if we do get a kind of lightsaber that is retractable like that, but also gives off the same quality.
Right.
Of like those, Force Effects sabers or whatever those kind of Galaxy's Edge type of sabers are too.
I think that'll bring a really cool new kind of look to like stunt sabers. Where it's just kind of the hilt, and sometimes they add in soundboards to them. But a retractable stunt saber like that would be really cool. You could make some really neat videos out of that.
I really hope they find a way. And I hope these sabers do that. But they don't retract, they kind of extract out of the emitter. And I hope there's a button to where you push it again and it retracts back into the hilt.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Instead of I've always felt like a kid like trying to like hide putting the hilt back in.
Yeah. You have to like pretend like you're putting it back onto
this
your
is
belt.
Technically burning my hand, but I'm not going to mention that.
Yeah, I hope they eventually find a way to do that, because I remember having one of the first like spring-loaded retractable lightsabers, and it went all the way down to the hilt. But then whenever you wanted to put it away, you had to be like, push it into the hilt.
Do it like the samurai, where you kind of hide it in your hand.
Yeah. But this will be cool. I'm excited to actually see a visual reveal if we ever get that.
Right. I know, like, we're getting there technology-wise to probably, like, we will probably see a real, actual lightsaber in our time frame, I would think.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video of that guy who's made something super close.
Proto saber. Yeah. It's kind of what I'm kind of talking about, is that I think at some point someone will make something where literally it's a sword with the battery power in the hilt.
You think we'll ever get colors though?
No, I think you and I will probably only see it like as like a very early on stage.
Great grandchildren.
They will have lights. They will have the dream that we've always wanted.
They will have that will just be like the Jedi will exist in the year 2300.
Right. It's gonna be very normal for them.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Kind of moving on here. So last week we talked about the Star Wars Legends books kind of being re-released, of those iconic trilogies, and there are some reports that they are also going to be releasing the Darth Plagueis book that came out in 2012, and also the X-Wing Rogue Squadron book. It's called Star Wars Essential Legends Collection, and this is kind of like a commemoration for the 50th anniversary and kind of coming out in lieu of that. But there is indication that the Legends Collection books will hit on September 7th, 2021, which, that's fine. I'm not in a rush to get a special print of any of the Legends books, at least. But apparently there was listings on Edelweiss. I'm guessing that's like a book website, a bookstore website, and the Darth Plagueis and the X-Wing Rogue Squadron were listed and then quickly deleted. I guess once they realized people saw. So I'm assuming that later in the year we will be getting an announcement of a re-release of the Darth Plagueis book and the X-Wing Rogue Squadron. But it kind of brings me to what I've always said is, yeah, that's cool, but I've never been a huge Legends guy in any way.
Isn't the Rogue Squadron series like a 20-book series?
It's pretty long.
It's one of those where it's just super long. So like, I think it's funny that they're like, we're just doing the first one, and then you got to find the others. Kind
of like the old the old YA Jedi Academy series with like the young Hayden Christensen, like kind of weird anamorph Hayden Christensen. Yeah, but when it comes to Legends, have you read any of the Legends books?
Not really. The one I want to read is the Bounty Hunter books, the like original Bounty Hunter books.
Yeah, the OG ones. Yeah,
because I at least want to read the Mandalorian Armor, which was like the first like Boba Fett book. That by the way, this is my new Boba Fett shirt. If I haven't showed it to you yet.
Hey, for audio listeners, Jackson is showing me his Boba Fett fan club shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is his Empire Strikes Back design.
Yeah. And if you want to check it out, follow us on Twitter. Jackson posted a photo of his shirt he's wearing today.
I didn't dead.
That's right. I didn't I didn't really read much of the Legends stuff besides I just read I guess you'd call the Revenge of the Sith novel would be considered Legends.
I guess.
But I really want to read the Darth Plagueis novel.
I want to read the Kenobi one. I think that's by John Jackson Miller.
Yeah,
just to see if Kenobi will pull anything from it.
Story in the Kenobi one though, it's kind of feels like a filler episode of Clone Wars, something like that.
I completely agree. Yeah,
but I'm trying to think. I started Darth Bane like a year ago, and something happened and I just like fell off of reading it. It's not that I didn't like it. It was really intriguing.
Fell off.
I just kind of fell off. But I've always been interested in, what kind of stories were told whenever everyone thought we weren't going to get any more Star Wars.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm content with the canon stuff we're getting and, digging into stuff that actually means something for the main story
too, that we can actually enjoy and build,
especially with the High Republic. And
absolutely,
we're going to get to that later in the show. There's a lot more details have been released for the High Republic stuff coming later this year, but especially with like a whole timeline being released and like actively releasing still out. That's also super exciting. And I love getting all these different corners of the Star Wars universe that we didn't really see before.
I found out that the YouTube channel I follow that I was using to read older comics is also posting updated comics, including the High Republic ones.
Oh, nice.
So I'm really hoping that they're also going to be putting the War of the Bounty Hunters on there because I am planning to try and read it as much as I can. Yeah.
I haven't really gotten too far into the comics, but I really want to what has come out about the War of the Bounty Hunters has me very intrigued.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. What's next?
So there's there's actually a good amount of new things coming, toys and collectibles and whatnot. Yeah. These are all from Hasbro's Pulse Fan Fest, which was just kind of their little, collector powwow thing that they announced a bunch of new stuff. But they did announce a bunch of new stuff. Hold on. Sorry, I had a wheeze in my inhale. The event was to celebrate with fans new products revealed and engaging content and Pulse Premium opportunities hosted by Jackie Jennings. It featured updates from all of the major brands of just all around, including Star Wars. So the Star Wars stuff that was announced, I'm just going to go through everything.
Yeah, just go through the list and we'll talk about it.
We can pick out our favorites. Honestly, I think the big one is that they are releasing it's a Wedge Antilles simulation helmet. It's his pilot helmet. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be really cool. Just I know that there are some Black Series like Rebel pilot helmets out there, but I think it'll be cool to get like another one, especially a specific character one.
Yeah, Wedge's specific one.
There was some vintage collection 3.75 inch toys. There was a Luke Skywalker that was announced.
A
Hoth Luke, a Admiral Akbar, the Emperor's Royal Guard, a Endor Han Solo, and then for some Black Series 6-inch figures, there was Tech from the Bad Batch. Q9-00, the droid that the guy from IT Crowd plays. Yeah, the guy from IT Crowd plays in Mandalorian in the crew heist mission, the first Bill Burr episode. more Black Series, or a Singh figure, a General Lando Calrissian figure, a Cosca Reeves from the Mandalorian Season 2 figure, and then from the Vintage Collection Gaming Greats, a 3.75-inch Shock Scout Trooper from... Oh, these are from... a lot of these are Force Awakened, or not Force Awakens. What's the game that just
Force Unleashed?
Force Unleashed, but the most recent one. I didn't mean to say Force right away. Jedi Fallen Order. Yes.
Order? Oh, okay.
Wow, that took me a minute.
That's okay.
Yeah, there's some Fallen Order figures, and then there was like a Battlefront 2. There's the Shock Scout Trooper, which I think he's from Force Unleashed. And then there's the Heavy Battle Droid, which I think it's funny. I saw these pictures. The Heavy Battle Droid is in the Geonosis skin, which is funny because that's what I use for my Heavy.
That's funny.
Then there's the Electrostaff Purge Trooper. That's from Fallen Order. And then they have Anton Merrick's X-Wing fighter. It's like an X-Wing toy from Rogue One.
Yeah, he's the blue leader, I think, from Rogue One.
Is he? Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was. So yeah, a cool little plethora of stuff from a bunch of different eras and concepts and content all around. So
yeah, I'm just glad we're getting just more more figures and stuff, because man, walking through Target right now, it's like a wasteland with Star Wars. I was at Target yesterday. Well, it was either yesterday or the day before, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I will go check out the Star Wars section, see if there's any figures or anything. I walked over there.
Ghost Town.
There was I think it was a single Black Series Jar Jar figure, and then a couple other just like Mandalorian Black Series figures, just like characters from the Mandalorian, like a Queel, and I think maybe another one, I don't remember. And there were just like some Baby Yoda toys and some stuffed animals, and that was it. That was the Star Wars section.
Yeah, that's about it. Pretty much everywhere, I would say.
I remember when the Star Wars section at Target was an entire aisle.
Yeah, right. Just this whole separate area.
Yeah, so I'm ready for another big toy rollout, which I'm sure we'll be getting sometime this year, because I know, we're getting all these shows, and next year's going to be a really big year for Star Wars releases, because we're getting Kenobi, we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting Mandalorian Season 3.
I cannot
Squadron,
wait.
I think, is 23.
I can't wait for the hot toys and sideshow toys that'll come from the series. Have you
Can you also not wait for your wallet to be empty?
Yeah, right. Have you seen the sideshow ObiWan concept figure?
Yeah,
that'll probably be
like a weird
what that
Alec
looks
Guinness
like.
Ewan morph. Yeah.
I bet you once we get like official licensed merch of that'll be really cool.
Yeah, especially once they start releasing kind of, I call it the vibe check of a show, where you like get like, you get like a teaser, or you'll get like some promotional posters or something, and that's kind of like shows you what the vibe of the show is going to be. Once we start getting stuff like that for Kenobi released, I'm sure they'll announce some figures and toys and that kind of fun stuff, because I really want to know what kind of Kenobi we're getting in this ObiWan Kenobi show.
I think too, once we know who each of the cast members are playing, if we'll get toys centered around them.
Yeah.
Because those are big names too.
I want a Qui-Gon Force Ghost figure.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Those are like, the old toys that they had where it was the hologram that would like usually
like
come with it.
Something you would get in a Happy Meal or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always down for more Star Wars toys.
Absolutely. I like how diverse these are just on where they come from too. Yeah. So I like that we're getting toys from just everywhere.
I wish you'd get some more sequel trilogy toys though.
I agree. I wish that there was more different. I wish we had the different styles of stormtroopers that they have too.
Or give us like the Captain Phasma with the broken helmet.
That'd be cool. Battle damaged Phasma. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Well, we can kind of move on here. So, it was just announced that Jabba the Hutt will be getting a one-shot comic for Marvel's War of the Bounty Hunters crossover event, which we were just talking about. And here's kind of the synopsis of this issue. And I will be reading from the synopsis. Jabba never forgives, Jabba never forgets. Jabba the Hutt is one of the most powerful and ruthless gangsters in the galaxy, and Boba Fett, his most trusted bounty hunter, has failed him. How will Jabba deal with betrayal? Violently. And what does this have to do with a bounty hunter with ties to the High Republic? That's it. That's the tweet. So it's kind of, it'll be interesting.
I think it'll be fun
to see the dynamic between Jabba and Boba, because we never really explore that. And
right.
I wonder how much disdain Boba will be showing for Jabba in the Book of Boba Fett show. And like, I wonder how much mention we'll get of Jabba the Hutt in the Book of Boba Fett.
They're like, Fennec Shan's going to say his name. Don't say it. Like, slams the table. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it in this house. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't say his name. He who must not be named. He who must not be shamed. So apparently the issues for the whole War of the Bounty Hunters run will be releasing from May through July. So like kind of a summer event for comics. So that's kind of cool. Getting kind of soon. I think this will probably be one of the first comic runs that I'll actually follow and read.
It's supposed to be the biggest so far, so I also think it'll be something. I hope it's something that'll get. I say that I hope it does this with me. I hope it essentially it just kind of swallows me into the comic world, and I'm able to just kind of experience War of the Bounty Hunters and then continue in the way that I want. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I guess we can kind of talk about this now. I don't know if you put it on here, but did you see any of the new variant covers that they released for War of the Bounty Hunters? So they announced most of them already, but then when they did it was the Star Wars show, it was like a 3-minute video, and essentially they dropped variant covers for most of the issues, and then in that specific video they announced and released the new variant cover for issue 2, and they're all like portraits of each character. So the issue 2 variant cover is Boba Fett, and it's just it's got a green background, and it's just Boba Fett kind of just in a pose, and the caption for all of them is "The Hunt for Han Solo starts 2021," and there's a Boba Fett one, there's a Dr. Aphra one, there's one of a bounty hunter, I can't think of his name, but he's got half of his face is like cyborg, and he's just this big muscular dude. I don't know who he is, and I don't know his name, but then the other ones are Leia and Vader, and those were kind of cool to me. Those are probably my favorite of the Leia and Vader ones, because it's just the look on Leia's face is just so determined that it instantly made me pumped for it. I was like, that's probably going to be the cool comic, is Boba and Leia duking it out as Leia's just desperate to get Han back.
Yeah. So. And it'll be nice to explore that time period too, because we don't really hear much about what happens there
in the in between. Yeah.
So that'll be cool. But I think that, kind of back to the Jabba thing, we never really get, like I said before, we never really get Jabba and Boba's kind of dynamic, but we never really flesh out Jabba ever. He's always kind of just this mysterious Hutt gangster, and we know that he does bad things, which I think is kind of the charm of his character. Is we know that he has a son,
but I also agree with what you're saying, because it'll be cool to see Jabba's inner business day, his normal.
Yeah. And, talking about betrayal and violence, and how he's going to, what he's going to plan to do to Boba. I don't know.
Right.
So that,
cool. This betrayal seems pretty grand, since they figure it all out in a couple months for Return of the Jedi. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see when that comes out this summer. But what is next?
So this is all a rumor. This next little
alert,
bit.
Everybody. This is not confirmed.
Alert.
This is a rumor.
Star Wars Detours might finally see the light of day on Disney Plus. The Vulcan Reporter is reporting that Lucasfilm is finally moving forward with Star Wars Detours at Disney Plus. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Moving forward with Star Wars Detours at Disney Plus, and it seems like the ideal place to drop the completed episodes of the series, which is more of the cartoonish and goofy take on the Star Wars saga aimed for younger audiences. Is this the ride? Or
no. Okay.
I don't know. What is Star Wars Detours?
I'm glad you asked. So, probably around 2012, 2012, George Lucas teamed up with a lot of the people behind like the Robot Chicken, like all of those creators, including Seth MacFarlane. I think Seth Green as well, but they were going to create this animated kids show called Star Wars Detours, and there is actually footage of from some of the episodes on YouTube.
Wait, is this the 3D animated thing where like some of it's in Dexter Jesters and like...
Yeah, and like Leia is like a bratty teen who's always on her phone.
It's like weird, like uncomfy animation.
Yeah, and the comedy's really off and weird. If you're listening and you don't know what Star Wars Detours is, you just boot up the old YouTube machine, Google it up, and you will know what we're talking about, because what the test footage that I think it was shown at Celebration 2011 or something, and it was just bad. It was just not good.
Well, they speculate that Lucasfilm might make some kind of surprise announcement about it being on Disney Plus, probably at May the 4th.
Yeah, I don't know.
On Star Wars Day.
Don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it. I've seen clips on like TikTok and Facebook. So that's how I was able to register what you were talking about. But I've never actually sat down and watched it in its entirety. So that'll be different.
It's kind of has like that Robot Chicken dynamic where like the Emperor is kind of like an imbecile and Vader's like this, you know, kind of like Dumb and Dumber. And
why don't people say wizard anymore?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like that Robot Chicken humor, but like for a whole season of the show.
Oh no, that's wild.
It's not just like, I think what works so well about Robot Chicken is that like it's basically comedy skits with action figures.
Right.
But being like an animated kids show, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll definitely see. I bet you it's going to pull this complete 180 on us and be just hysterical. Just have jokes that we like didn't make sense then, but like are just even hilarious now.
I really hope so. But that's kind of all there is to say about that. It's a rumor, and that's all we know. I mean, it might never still see the light of day. So I know they pulled the plug on it super early. So
and I bet you could probably find it on YouTube if you really look hard enough, or just somewhere that has it. It's
just like different clips you can see that they released online. Because I think StarWars.com released clips where they announced it, and it was quickly pulled from production, especially when it got to the time where Lucas was thinking about selling Lucasfilm and all that kind of stuff. So, well, our last story for the day, we're going to talk about some Star Wars High Republic. So Star Wars The High Republic, StarWars.com released new details for the next wave of stories in the High Republic era. So they're calling it Wave 2 of Phase 1. So it's still Phase 1, but it's like the second coming of books.
Out of
that are all
how many phases do you know?
I don't think we know. I think that this is just the first phase, and that's all we know. It might not even be the last wave. We might get another wave of Phase 1. But all the books that the site gave new details to had been announced either back in January at their event they had, or at some point after that. And up until this was announced, they only had their titles and covers, but now they kind of release all the synopses and everything that we need to know about each different thing that is coming out for Wave 2, excuse me. But I'm not going to go through every single synopsis. I'm going to kind of just go through every title and author and kind of what it is. So First, we have Hidden Danger Part 1 by Justina Ireland, and it's the brand new short story published by Star Wars Insider in their upcoming 203rd issue, which is out on June 8th, 2021. Next, we have The Rising Storm, the sequel to The Light of the Jedi, written by Kevin Scott, and this will be the first book from Wave 2 coming out on June 29th, 2021. And Joseph Meehan did the cover, and it will be obviously, just like Light of the Jedi, an adult novel coming from Del Rey. And then next we have A Race to Crash Point Tower, which is kind of the sequel to, and I don't know about a direct sequel, but it's in the same vein of Tests of Courage and like kind of those younger kids' books.
Gotcha.
Written by Daniel Jose Older, and that will be coming out on the same day as The Rising Storm. In a similar fashion than a Test of Courage and Light of the Jedi, both come out on the same day. And this is, again, the middle grade level novel coming from Lucasfilm Press with the cover by Peter Antonsen. And next we have The High Republic Adventures number 6, also written by Daniel Jose Older. Artist has not been announced, and it will be out on July 7th, 2021, and it'll kick off a new story arc as well. Next we have Out of the Shadows, the sequel to Into the Dark by Justina Ireland. And again, Disney Publishing's art team did the cover for this young adult novel coming out next on July 22nd, 2021. Again, already we have sequels to the books we already have, which is great. I know we've been talking about getting into Rising Storm, especially because we love Light of the Jedi. Yeah. We really want to see where that story goes. So that'll be fun. And then we have, obviously, we talked about this either last week or 2 weeks ago, Tempest Runner by Kevin Scott. The kind of the book original audio novel thing about Lorna D and kind of getting into Marchian Row and the Nile and that kind of stuff. There has not been a cover done for this one yet, and no artist has been announced, but the audio original novel will be coming from Del Rey, and we learned that it will have a release of August 31st, 2021. So that'll be fun to dive into once that comes out. A couple more. We have The Edge of Balance by Justina Ireland and Shima Shinya. And this will be the first manga set in the High Republic. And
that's cool.
This was announced in January, but now we know that the release date is September 7th, 2021. Back in January, Justina Ireland described it as authentically Star Wars and authentically manga. So that'll be cool to actually get a Star Wars, a canon Star Wars manga, because I know they've kind of, I remember a fan did a manga for Lost Stars, like I think it was last year.
Oh, that's cool.
And I kind of, after I read Lost Stars, I knew it existed, so I went and checked out the manga, and I just kind of flipped through it. I didn't want to reread it, but there's really cool art in it, and I thought that was really cool. So I think Star Wars works really well in manga form, especially.
Absolutely.
But, and then lastly, we have Showdown at the Fair by George Mann with art by Peter Antonsen again. And this will be coming from the Disney Publishing art team, which is the last item of Wave 2, and will be an 8x8 storybook coming from Lucasfilm Press and released on October 8th, 2021. So I'm guessing this is kind of their slate for the rest of the year for High Republic, what's being released. So we have all that announced. If you want to check out the synopsis for each of the different books and things like that are coming out, they do have those on the StarWars.com website if you want to check those out. But I noticed that a lot of these stories have something called, they're kind of running up to and during something called the Republic Fair. And according to the Rising Storm synopsis, it says, in celebration, the Chancellor plans the Republic Fair, a showcase of the possibility and peace of the expanding Republic, a precept the Jedi hope to foster. So, kind of speculating here. Do we think, because they talk about the Starlight Beacon and like letting that be kind of a beacon for the Republic and a beacon for the galaxy. Is it going to kind of be like the World's Fair for the Republic, or what do you think this is?
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Republic Fair?
I view it. I think it's either going to be two things that ultimately let me, I guess, theorize what will happen. But I guess it's either the Republic Fair will be at Starlight Beacon, which I think makes the most sense because it gets at least novelists into the guts of Starlight Beacon, because I think the most we've seen of it so far only been in the comics. And then I guess plot wise, I guess bad guys will show up, and that, that makes everything have to happen on Starlight Beacon. Or I almost picture it like, I don't know what it's called exactly. Can't remember what it's called, but it's history lesson when Teddy Roosevelt was dealing with the advancement of Eastern countries who were kind of getting their leg up in the trading world and the, I guess, military world. Teddy Roosevelt responded by making sure that America's powers were known by literally holding a giant like parade of all of the like tanks and boats and ships that they have, and he did it as a test of power. But I almost see it as the Republic just going world to war or world to world and just being like, this is everything we have, this is everything we can give you, and then they go to a planet that's got people that don't like that turns on them or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean this last like 8x8 storybook is called Showdown at the Fair. So I'm guessing something will go down in a children's book. But
it's awesome.
I think that, with Chancellor Lena So being like this all accepting chancellor and wanting the galaxy to be united within the Republic, and like with this big saying of we are all the Republic, I would imagine that this, Republic Fair is kind of Lena's attempt at trying to get the whole galaxy on board with the Republic. And
it's probably her like just attempt to have the Outer Rim like be connected with like mid and core worlds.
Yeah, and especially with the Great Disaster and all the galaxy is kind of on edge. I'm sure that this is her way of like trying to get everybody to come together, and I wonder how that will clash with the Nile and kind of their doing and their goals. So I'm not really sure what that dynamic will turn into, but I'm super excited to see.
I wonder if like it's all going to happen at Starlight Beacon, and then the Nile's going to attack it. And a lot of people are going to die, like a lot of people, because I wonder if they'll take Starlight Beacon down this fast.
I don't know. That would be very surprising if they
popped it up and then immediately tore it down.
In phase one, they introduce it to us and take it away in one phase. But no, I don't think they'll do that. But yeah, I think Starlight Beacon will play a role for sure in whatever this will be.
Right.
But do you have any other speculation for like where the story goes from stories like Light of the Jedi and not Out of the Shadows, Into the Dark?
I think the biggest thing I want to see is, at least when considering Into the Dark, is we are understanding how we are understanding more natural force beings, things, just kind of natural force entities that I think are going to come into play later. I really want to see what kind of fleshes out with Marchion Ro's plan, and just kind of what becomes of that, what becomes of him, what's his plan? Is he building an army? Is he, going to try and take over something?
I think the downfall of the Republic will be thanks to Marchion Ro and the Nile, and
I agree.
I think that's what they're kind of setting up. And if they don't, if that is not the route they're going, then I'm very curious as to where they would go.
Right.
I mean, that would be crazy if halfway through the timeline of the High Republic, the Nile's knocked out, and we have to see where we go from there. Talk about subverting expectations. But yeah, I'm very excited for this next wave of all of this content to dig in, especially with that manga. That'll be really fun to read. I've just been really bad about getting into the High Republic comics. So I hope you'll have to link me to that YouTube channel that's kind of going through all of the...
Yeah, I'm going to start checking them out and at least see what the first couple are.
Just so I can kind of get myself in the loop and, fill myself in on some stories that I don't really have. But So yeah, I think that just about does it for this week. It wasn't too heavy of a news week, but there was no movie or show news this week. It was all toys and books and that kind of stuff. So just one of those slow weeks. But yeah, I think that just about does it. You can find us on Instagram at @ThroughImperializedPod, Twitter @ImperializedPod, and we're on YouTube, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on all those goodies. Where can they find you, Jackson?
You can find me on Twitter at QuacksonScaling. That's QUACKSON_ scaling like the triangle. And then you can follow my photography Instagram at Daleen_photography. Daleen spelled DALEEN. Braydon, what about you?
As always, you can find me on Instagram at braydonleadbetter and on Twitter at braydathlon. And guys, I stress this every week, but I'm going to keep doing it. Please leave that rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps. If you're listening right now, don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
If you're listening right now and you have not done so, please do, especially if you're enjoying what you're hearing. That really helps out our show and allows us to make more fun content like this. Make sure to check out on Saturday. Contrary to popular belief, we are doing Imperial Cantina on Rogue One, not The Last Jedi, because we are doing this in release order. So if we're sticking to that, we got Rogue One next, and the week after will be The Last Jedi. So check that out on Saturday. And please, we always do take questions every week. I know this was more of a slow week, so we didn't have much to ask for this week. But if you are interested in doing that, please check out all of our socials. We accept any and all questions in DMs or asks on Twitter or anything like that. But if Jackson does not have anything else...
No, I'm good.
Well, cool. Well, until Saturday and until next week for some more Star Wars news, may the Force be with you.